Good afternoon, and thank you for being with us this afternoon, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Kerrville. This time, I'd like to ask everybody that's in attendance with us to please mute your cell phones, but before you do so, check in and let the world know where we're at and what we're doing. At this time, I'm going to ask Janelle Peralt to come up because I just asked her to little POD up here. So Janelle, thank you. She's going to lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Jeff said, will you pray for me? I said, we always pray for you, Jeff.
Lord knows I need it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, if you bow your heads, please. Lord, thank us for this lovely, or thank you for this lovely weather, this brilliant time of year that we love so much in the Hill Country. Pray for all our service people and our members. This will be a big weekend as we participate in Rise Above Hunger. We've got all sorts of events happening around the Hill Country. Pray for their safety. Pray for each other, and let's lift each other up instead of tear each other down just in the world landscape. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, we're going to sing. George is here, so we're going to sing.
We are in honor of, it's kind of a post 9/11 song, patriotic. I couldn't find anything to sing about for mentors. You know,
We're patriotic.
yeah, okay, good. So there we go. This is the third verse to America. You may not notice it. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake. Let frogs their silence break, the sound prolong. Good job.
Thank you, George. Janelle, thank you. I know that was like very short notice and coming up and doing a great job for me. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask if Clint Morris is online. He said he would be. So he's going to introduce our speakers today, which I know a little bit about, but I won't go into that. So Clint, you're muted. Clint, you're still muted.
Unmute, Morris. Unmute, Morris.
Hello.
There he is.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, President Jeff. I had to get my technical advisor to come assist me with this. When we scheduled the program on the Boys and Girls Clubs and Big Brothers, Big Sisters, I found out, and I guess others already knew, that KISD has its own youth mentoring program. And I thought that maybe it was brand new, but it turns out that it's been in effect for years. And so we decided to have another program so that we could have the mentoring coordinators from KISD come tell us about their program. And we're fortunate to have with us today Lori Reese, who is a Tybee Grad High School graduate and has been in the KISD mentoring coordinator role for 27 years, which certainly puts me behind the times as far as understanding what they do. And we also have Phyllis Blair, who is an Abilene Cooper High School grad, and she's been a mentoring coordinator for 17 years. So let's all give a warm Rotary welcome to our two speakers, Lori Reese and Phyllis Blair, who will tell us about the KISD mentoring program.
Thank you very much for letting us be here today. We're thrilled that we can share our passion for the KISD mentoring program. I have been doing it a while, so I am pretty passionate about it. Actually, 30 years ago, the KISD superintendent at the time was Dr. Alan Brown. And the first mentoring coordinator was Rita Baker. And she came to the Rotary meeting, they did, and shared their vision for a new program that would match community members with our students and to possibly make a difference in their lives. Well, they were overwhelmed with the response from the Rotarians. They stepped up mightily and became mentors. So we were pretty excited about being able to start the program and get it rolling, and we're still here 30 years later. Rita once told me when I started that she had gotten a phone call and someone was interested in becoming a mentor, and the first question they asked was, do you have to be a Rotarian to be a mentor? Of course, the answer was no, but it's a good thing, and we really appreciate you guys helping us get started 30 years ago and letting us be here today. We're going to show you a quick video, possibly. You have to share screen.
Oh, no, it's on there.
Is it on there?
It's
Okay.
up.
All right.
I joined the Rotary on Rotary, and my name is Jennifer. I like to go to Rotary because it helps me learn and I get better grades. And I like Miss Kate because she comforts me and she's a nice person and she helps me. And I like mentoring. I'm Miss Katie, and I thoroughly enjoy being in the classes. And I have fun playing games with Jennifer. And it's wonderful.
Well, I'm Andy O'Donnell, and this is my student this year, JP. I've been in the program for over 20 years, and it's just such a joy to be with the children and to, it's far more rewarding for the mentors than it is for the children, I'm sure. And it's just a pleasure to be in the schools and see what's going on. I feel honored to do this.
This is my little buddy this year, and her name is Destin.
Hi, my name is Destiny, and I'm at preschool, and it's a pleasure having Mr. Don.
Are we a team?
Yeah. We do mainly everything together.
Bill Lutz, I'm in my third year mentoring at Tom Daniels. I've had 3 children come through, about to have number 4. Ms. Reese offered me an opportunity to mentor. It has been one of the most fulfilling things I've done. I enjoy coming. It's a short hour once a week, not even. Easy to break away from work and come down. Nice to help the kids and sit with them and read a little bit, play some games, and just to be a little bit of support that they may not get otherwise. So I encourage you, if you have a little extra time, an hour a week, it's not too much to ask.
I'm Betsy Drapella. I've been mentoring at Starkey for about 27 years, almost since the mentoring program began. And I love mentoring because I enjoy being around young children and teaching them, helping them learn to read, because I feel that reading is the most important thing that they can learn in school. And plus, we have a great time playing games.
This is what I like to come to because it makes me really happy to see so much joy with the children and how much fun we have when we're together. And It also makes me feel good about myself because I think that I have a positive influence on you and making you feel good about yourself. And that it makes school a happy place because you feel good about your ability and that you feel more confident about yourself and that you can do things about reading and you feel good about your ability to do that and that you feel good about your ability to do everything.
What I like about American that people listen to you while you're here.
Mentoring has been very beneficial for me. When I was working, I didn't have time, and now that I'm retired, I've got an opportunity to volunteer and get back to them.
We need you. Call me a mentor.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at you.
Oh, I'm figuring it out. I might be a Zoom guy after all.
There we go. All right. Betsy Drapella was one of the people on the video, and she literally started in 1991, 30 years ago, the first year, and she's still mentoring. So we're not saying if you sign up today or decide to join us that you're signed up for life, but it is kind of a proof that some people really love it, enjoy it, and have a great time with it. There we go. Here's just some facts about KISD in case you didn't know. The enrollment for the school district, 4,800. There are about 5.5 million students across Texas. That's a new number. I did look that up recently. The number of employees, we have 9 schools, square miles, 56% of our students live in poverty. 100% graduation rate, which is something to really be thrilled about. But that poverty level, I think some may find, some people may find surprising for Kerrville, but we still teach them and they still learn very well. So, but your help is definitely needed for that. These are the different elementary schools. We have 4 of them: Tom Daniels, Nimitz, Starkey, Tally. That is probably where our focus is on the mentoring right now. We're starting with the elementary age kiddos, and you definitely have an opportunity to move through the school years with them if that relationship blossoms.
And it does sometimes. It definitely does.
We try.
We try.
We wanted to talk about what mentoring is. Mentoring is a caring adult offering a student friendship, support, advice, encouragement in a one-on-one weekly meeting. Notice I didn't say tutoring because it's not. We may do academic stuff. That may be some of the things that we work with. But basically what this focus is about the relationship. So we want to be sure that, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to come in and teach somebody algebra, because that's not happening.
But that relationship time and the things that you do in mentoring with reading books, it's amazing how many life lessons can be taught through a board game or other games that you play. So that relationship really then transfers to the classroom. And typically, if we have a child that is struggling, you typically see those academics start improving because they do have that one-on-one time with you to read and just have that learning experience. So typically, we do see that transfer into improved academics as well.
All right, how does it help? That first one improves the student's attitude toward parents, peers, teachers, and school. Sometimes you're thinking, well, how are we helping their attitude toward other people? When we are with these kiddos, and when you guys are with them, if they share something that's kind of negative, maybe, you know, they're frustrated with mom or a teacher, some other adult they're dealing with, that's a great opportunity to stop and kind of talk to them about, you know, well, how do you think that person felt? You know, do that back and forth with them. But it's also a time to maybe gently, softly suggest some other ways to deal with adults. Some of these kiddos are just stuck in their same responses. They have an attitude that they're maybe developed over the years that, you know, the teacher's mean or whatever. So it's a way for a different adult in their life to try to stress a different way to react and interact with that adult, and maybe hopefully get some different outcomes. The encourage students to stay motivated and focused on education. We do a lot of talking about what are you going to be when you grow up? Because some of these kids, of course, have no idea. I didn't know what I wanted to be. But it's just to put that bug in their ear, to put that in their heart. And, you know, you may have one that says, I want to be a paleontologist. We get that quite a bit. They do like dinosaurs. And, you know, so then you kind of say, well, what do you think it takes to be a paleontologist? You know, so you can kind of start to get them to thinking about the fact that maybe they're going to have to pay attention in the classroom and learn some of that stuff so that their grades can stay where they need to be. But they may want to be a plumber or, you know, some other job that maybe their parents or somebody does. So even those kind of things, we can talk them through starting to plan some goals, you know, at a kid's level. So provide a positive way to spend free time. You want to do that one?
On that, like, you know, just in talking with your kiddo, well, what do you do after school? Well, as y'all probably know, a lot of kids answer video games. And there's nothing wrong with video games, but it's also not great to sit there for 5 hours and play video games. So just, you know, like in conversation there again, that's where as a mentor, you know, you can encourage, well, you know, what video game do you like to play? Well, that's really fun, but hey, do you have an opportunity to go outside and play? Do you have any friends in your neighborhood? Do you take a library book home? You know, how about reading a chapter of library book? So it's a time that you can also just give that encouragement. If your kiddo is one of those, oh, I play video games till 2 a.m, you know, there again is just an opportunity to make suggestions about, oh, well, you know, it's really fun to read an exciting adventure book, or, you know, hey, when I was a kid, we went outside and played kickball with kids in the neighborhood, you know, just things like that can be an encouragement.
All right, and then helping young people, am I on the right one?
Yeah, face the daily challenge.
The face the daily challenges. Daily challenges are all kinds of things. I'm going to share a quick little story. I had a young man who, I think he was in like 3rd grade, it doesn't matter, but elementary. And he would come in and tell about the nightmares that he was having. And after about the 2nd or 3rd session, when he was focused on having nightmares, I said, what do you think's causing those? Well, long story short, Friday nights were nights that their family watched movies. And unfortunately for him, his family loves scary movies and he did not. So in talking about it, I said, well, where do y'all watch the movies? Because we can't assume anything. They did watch in the living room. And I said, well, do you have a bedroom? Yes. And I said, would mom be upset if you went to your room if it got too scary? And he kind of stopped and thought about it a minute. He went, no. And I said, yeah, you might not watch the scary movie. But because for him, that was what they did as a family, he didn't feel like he could step up and say, hey, this isn't working for me. So the next week he came in and I said, so what happened? He goes, I didn't watch it. And I was like, okay. So I'm not talking about major challenges these kids have, but I'm talking about, there are just things that they'll mention and you have a solution because we have some experience under our belt. So it's a gentle way to be able to refocus and help these kiddos make some different choices.
And it does help build self-esteem and self-worth. Honestly, if I had enough time, space, and mentors, I would have a mentor for every kid in school, no matter how great your parents are, no matter how wonderful your home life is. There is something very unique about having an adult that is feeding into you and encouraging you that is not a family member. It just, and really for all of us, I mean, spouses can encourage us, which is wonderful. But if a coworker or a friend gives you that same positive comment that your spouse did, there's just something about that extra weight of it coming from someone that is not your family member. So it really is amazing what it can do for kids' self-esteem, their self-worth, just that extra encouragement.
And I'm betting right now, some of you are sitting there thinking, yeah, if it hadn't been for Miss So-and-so or the neighbor down the street. So this isn't new as far as having a mentor. For years, people have been affected by neighbors and friends that weren't related to us, or school teachers, some of us. So that's the role of being a mentor, is being that extra voice in their ear. How are the students chosen? We get that question a lot. And as Phyllis said, we would put every child in school in the mentoring program if we had that many volunteers, because you guys all have a friend that you talk to that's not related to you, and it's different. You share differently with other people. So the teachers choose the children. Sometimes parents ask for their child to be in the program. If their child is maybe going through something, maybe a divorce or something of that nature, they may ask that they be in the program. And they choose them for all kinds of reasons. We have kids in the program that are straight A students. We have kids that can't read very well. We have kids that are always in trouble. And we have some kids that have never been in the office except to read announcements or something. So it's a wide variety of kiddos. So there's not a stigma as to why you're mentoring. It's simply that a caring adult in your life would be beneficial. So that's what we do with that.
And if it is a kiddo that's always in trouble in school, odds are you will have zero problems with them in mentoring. Discipline's really not an issue in mentoring because that child is getting a need fulfilled. They have someone that has their undivided attention for 50 minutes. And so there's been times that one of us, have had a kiddo and we made a comment about them getting in trouble. And they're like, what do you mean they're getting in trouble? Because they're great in mentoring. So
when you're getting attention, you tend to
Yeah.
be okay. All right. This is mutually beneficial. A lot of our mentors have developed great long-lasting relationships with other mentors. I had a group of women who randomly were placed together with a second grade group, at the end of the year, they all started talking about, because then they were all going to stay with their kiddos, moved to third grade. They started talking about what day was best for all of them. So they all came at the same time the next year and literally did that throughout the kiddos finishing fifth grade. So those adults developed a relationship amongst themselves also. So it is mutually beneficial, as Andy mentioned in the video. She thinks she gets more out of it than the young man, which he seemed to agree. He just had no idea. But it is a really fun thing to do. Okay. And then here are the specifics, what's involved. Time commitment is a biggie. So I know immediately some of you are going, oh, the same day, the same time, every week during the school year would be very difficult. You might be surprised if you do traveling, that kind of thing. It's not a problem. The kids come anyway. We fill in for you. So try not to let that part of it slow you down, because we usually can work around some of the being away kind of things.
And people really can work it into their schedule. Jeff's wife, Christy, has been mentoring for several years as a police officer, and the last couple of years, she's also been in school working on a master's degree. And even with all that, she has been able to find that 1 hour a week to come and mentor.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. We're here to support you guys. We have been doing this a while. So if you do get into a situation, we're always in the room. You're not in the room with the children by yourselves. There is a coordinator there all the time. So, go ahead. All right, the way to get started, there's a short application. There is a background check, about a 15-30 minute go through the handbook kind of thing, and then you're good to go. So it's a pretty easy way to get started. You want to play that other video? We're going to play a real short video from Jerry Sprouse. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jerry Sprouse, and I started mentoring at Starkey Elementary School in 2007 with a young lady named Joanna. We went from third grade all the way through fifth grade at Starkey. And then I even stayed with her and am still mentoring her to this day as a 22-year-old graduate of St. Edward's University in Austin. Part of the reason why I wanted to mentor is I'm a huge reader, so I want other kids to read. But you know, mentoring, not everybody comes for reading. Joanna came because she was quiet, shy, and had a little bit of a speech impediment. And we just hit it off and did a fun time of just reading and learning together, and just the fellowship of being with these young kids week after week after week. I think it was more for me than her, probably, just to be there and to mentor and be a guide with her throughout her school years. I gave her a diploma, and she graduated from high school. And I also was able to put a sash around her this last May as she graduated cum laude from the St. Edward's University. So if you have a heart for any type of child, slow reader, not great with academics at all, or just shy and quiet and needs a hand, I just strongly encourage you to pick up a mentoring child at any of the Thank you.
Just to share it again. I love technology. That's why I'm a mentoring coordinator, not a computer whiz. I will tell you, there is on your table, there should be a pen. All we're asking for is if you're interested at all, if you have any other questions about it, signing up does not mean that you're signing your life away to actually be, it just means, hey, contact me and let's talk a little more. And I will encourage you to think about neighbors, relatives, other people that you know, maybe that aren't here today, that might be interested in getting involved, because we're kind of struggling this year to get volunteers for a lot of reasons. But we were not able to do mentoring last year. I promised I wouldn't to say the COVID word, but it got us last year and we were not able to have volunteers in the school building. So we really are needing as many people as we can possibly get. If you do put your information on there, please write legibly. That's kind of important. And if you don't sign in and you're thinking about it in a couple of days and you're kind of going, you know, maybe I really should, call any of the elementary schools and they can get you in touch with us. So we're always reachable.
And if you're looking to make a difference and volunteer, I'm telling you, well, I know I'm biased, but I'm serious. It is the easiest way in the world to volunteer and make a difference, because it is literally just one time a week, 1 hour. You're actually, it's actually 50 minutes that you're with the kid, but it is the most fun, makes such an impact. And all you have to do is show up and be a friend to a child. It
Thank
doesn't
y'all.
get easier than that.
We really appreciate you letting us come.
I'm a better banker than I am a Zoomer. I'll tell you that right now, but we figured it out. So is there any questions from the audience, either online or here? Charlie?
How many students go through?
As many as we can find mentors.
On average, in the before COVID, we were running about 150 to 200 children. And this year we got about 60 volunteers. So we really are needing people to step up. And we understand there are
How
things
many,
that are.
how many volunteers did you say? 60?
We have about 60 right now. We've got some on the list that are like, I just can't write this minute. So, but we're needing people to step up. Anybody else questions? All right, maybe we did our job well if we answered them all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Ladies, thank y'all for taking time out of your day to come over and present to us today. So
Appreciate
a couple of little club housekeeping items. Debbie, Christy, and Carlina, if y'all would please come forward. We want to take those ugly red badges and give you your real ones. So.
Jimmy's gonna want a picture.
There you go.
Foundation giving, we've talked about every Rotarian $100. Thank y'all for meeting my challenge. We are having a lot of challenges met that way. And if you are giving to Rotary Direct, thank y'all for that. We can actually figure out who's doing it for us that way as well. This Saturday, Dave Samuel, we didn't get you to do it. I didn't do it either. Marta did. We have a sign up for Saturday for Rise Against Hunger. It's on the on Club Runner, so you can go in and sign up. The cleanup is full, so we don't have to worry about cleaning up in the afternoon. We just need help with people filling the bags of food and a little bit of setup before, so it's all on Club Runner for us right now. Amber Thomason, who is not with us today, but she is running the Pints for Polio. She's helping out. Ashley, I know you're helping her out with that as well. Paul Harris points plus matching points from any club member for gifts of $100 or more. So we will, we're going to match that for you as well. The families in Rotary, please continue to keep Becky Hutto in your prayers. Becky had a little surgery and Jimmy said she's getting better every day. So that's wonderful news. And if you would, please keep Debbie Anders in your prayers as well. She is going to have her knee replaced. Hope you don't mind me saying that to the club, but we will keep you in our prayers, Debbie. So, and we have any visitors today, Secretary Winley?
No, anybody got a visitor?
Mr. Jones?
I got a resurrected member. Paul Anderson.
We do have a resident member. Paul, thank you for making time to be with us today. We have missed you. So,
Thank you for taking me back.
so well,
Out of the box.
I'm excited about next week's presentation. Unfortunately, I am in leadership Kerr County, and our retreat is at Moe Ranch next Wednesday and Thursday. And so I'm going to miss Chad Matcock, who's the Maddock, who is the Texas Ranger here in Kerrville. It's going to be a wonderful presentation, and I'm going to have to definitely go back and watch that one on YouTube because those guys are pretty amazing in what they do. All right, now for the fun part, Jeff. I think you want to announce the wine?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Who has their pin on? Oh, my goodness. Is he even here today? John Forrester?
You have your pin on, John?
Your pin on?
There you
Get up
go.
here, buddy. Your wine today was picked out by our president.
Oh, I recognize that label.
The name, you recognize the label.
The label, I've seen that wine before.
By the way, who are you? Are you Ashley Phillips' guest today?
Yes.
Okay. Menage a trois? Oh, my word. How nice.
Thank you.
Yes. What was that?
So you've heard me up here preaching every week and asking and pay your invoices. Thank y'all. We had a board meeting yesterday and the over 90's gone. So thank y'all very much. That was what we were working on the hardest. So, and with that,
Hey, Jeff.
yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got one for Charlie. I wrote it down and I skipped you. Past President Charlie, also thank you, is running our new member orientation. Stepped up and after Lee Johnson had to take a little bit of leave, Charlie stepped up and he is running our new member orientation, which will be here next Wednesday, the 22nd at 11 o'clock. Brief hour with Charlie. Everybody else that needs to come, I know there's a few and I'm not going to name everybody, but if you'd like to come to the to that so you can get your badge, so then you can get rid of your red badge and get you a blue badge. And maybe if you just need to come back and hear a little bit about what we do and what we're about and get a makeup, I think they can use that for makeup and come in here and get you a little makeup if you missed something right before the meeting. So next Wednesday, the 22nd at 11 o'clock. And for you, those of y'all who have not seen Ashley, while Jeff was giving her a hard time, Ashley donated all of her hair to Locks of Love. And for everybody that's on Zoom that can't see Ashley, she looks really funny bald-headed. So no, she is. So she still has hair. So, and any paid announcements? Oh, Jeff does. There we go.
We try to be upbeat in this club. I've got a somber discussion and comments to make. Had a long visit today with some of my police service colleagues about wellness. And what started this last night was a text message from my colleague who's the assistant director of the FBI in charge of the Office of Professional Responsibility. He's a good Christian friend, been colleagues a long, long time. I'm not going to name who the subject is of my comments, but some of you would know that person, and I think it's a little too early to say who it is. But Stuart bumped me last night on text and said, hey, so-and-so came home this afternoon and found his wife dead on the floor of the house. She had taken her own life. So last night when I got that message and then further messages from AD Pratt, I went in, my wife was watching television and I just couldn't find the courage to tell her at midnight 30 last night that our friend's wife had taken her own life. I told her this morning before I came here, and of course you can imagine the rush of tears and the subsequent prayers. My message to all of you, if you're not doing some inventory of yourself and your family and your friends, and this is me included, get on with it. Because if we have friends and loved ones that have problems and we're missing it, and they do something to take their life and end it like that when we might be able to prevent it, which happens all too often, as you all know, is a shame on us. So that was on my heart today, and I want to share that with you. The other thing I want to mention to you in terms of wellness is that our community does not address wellness in the public safety area. I know there's 11 minutes left, and I'm going to end here pretty quick, but many of you know me, and some of you think you know me, but most of you don't know. I had 50 years of run here that done things that they write novels about, and that's all well and good. In more contemporary times, I've been a chief of police and a deputy chief of police and chief deputy and all those kind of things. It's all about organizational leadership, and it's about recruitment and survival and taking care of people, right? Okay. So in San Antonio, the ESDs, that's Emergency Service District, which we have some here, they have taxing authority. My Christian brother, who's chief of District 7, they set up a wellness functionary, and she goes and shares all that she knows in counseling capability to the other 12 ESDs in the San Antonio area. Rotary would do well to stand up and get behind something like this and be a motivator for this community to find a way to make sure that our public safety employees, particularly because of the stress and strain of what they do, and that's another 2-hour conversation, that we are doing all we can to enhance and increase their survivability. In my world, I get messages every day about the deaths. The code word for a heart attack for any of our officers or fire people, and particularly on the police side, is they had a medical emergency on the job, which means they died of a heart attack. Now, one of the chiefs in one of the smaller towns was a victim last night. So there's a real world reality here. And if any of you are looking for a project or would like to get behind that in some way as a community circumstance, I'll be part of your team and do whatever I can to help you. So anyway, that was my $20 pay.
Thank you, Jeff, and prayers go out to your friend and family members. There is an organization here in town. Speaking of that, Jeff, we are working on some stuff, and I will get you involved in that. It's something that it's more about veterans, but it reaches out to everybody, and it's about our community. So let's
Get the chiefs involved.
absolutely. So with that, if you would, please stand and join me in the 4-way test.
Of the things we think, say, or do,
truth, bear all concern, fulfill goodwill and better friendship with all concern.